Welcome to Retire Ready Texas. I'm James.
And I'm Cherish.
This is where we talk about preparing for the future, not only financially, but personally, spiritually, and intentionally.
Today we want you to picture a long Texas road winding through those hills. You can see some of the road clearly. Other parts disappear around the bend. There's steep climbs, unexpected turns, and valleys that you never planned to enter. And occasionally, another road joins yours for a while. Someone may travel beside you.
The picture reminds us of a powerful truth. The road you travel becomes your legacy. Life rarely follows the straight path we imagined. There are twists and turns and joyful arrivals and really painful departures. People enter our lives and change us. Some remain with us for decades. Others are present just for a season.
But when God brings someone onto our road, the length of the journey is not always the measure of its importance. Sometimes a brief encounter leaves a lifelong mark.
Yeah, I think this particular episode is going to speak to a lot of people. In Ecclesiastes, it tells us, everything there is a season and a time for every purpose under the heaven. We often apply that passage to events, but I also think it can describe relationships. God may bring someone into our life for a particular season and our purpose. That person may be a teacher, a pastor, a coach, employer, a coworker, a friend, family member, or mentor.
They may encourage us when we are discouraged. They may correct us when we're heading in the wrong direction. And they might recognize something in us that we haven't learned to see in ourselves yet. And sometimes without realizing it, we are that person for someone else. We may think that we're simply offering our advice, sharing our experiences, or extending a little kindness, but God may be using that moment to alter the direction of another person's life forever.
Yeah, I can certainly see that. That is the part of the mystery of legacy. We seldom know the full influence we have on a person while we're living it.
For a follower of Christ, legacy is about more than being remembered. It's about helping others know and follow Jesus. Before ascending into heaven, Jesus instructed his followers to go and make disciples. And that calling was not limited to just pastors or missionaries. It belongs to everyone. Discipleship often happens through ordinary, faithful relationships.
Yeah, it happens when a parent prays with a child. It happens when an older believer walks patiently beside someone who is young in their faith. It happens when a friend tells the truth with both courage and compassion.
It often happens when we demonstrate integrity while facing pressures, forgiveness after being hurt, or generosity in a time of scarcity. People may not remember every lesson we taught them, but they will remember how we lived when the road became difficult. Did we panic, or did we pray? Did we become bitter, or did we extend the grace that was given to us? Did we protect our pride more than anything, or did we humbly admit that we were wrong? Did our faith exist only in our words, or could people see it actually in the way that we lived? The most enduring spiritual legacy is not created by perfection. It's created by faithfulness.
Legacy is also built through mentorship. A leader's greatest accomplishment is not merely what that person achieves. It's what others become because that leader invested in them. A good mentor shares knowledge, but a great mentor also shares their perspective. Great mentors help us not only understand what to do, but why it really matters. They allow us to learn from their victories and, just as importantly, from their mistakes.
And many of us can remember that someone who took a chance on us. Maybe that person gave you your first job. Perhaps maybe they spoke your name in a room where you weren't invited to yet. Maybe they trusted you with responsibility or encouraged you not to quit, but their influence while they were on your road became part of your story.
You know, Cherish, mentorship is not supposed to end with us. What we have received should be passed forward. The wisdom gained from all the years of work and leadership and marriage and parenting, ministry, hardship, and faith was never intended to be stored away. And I think that's what we try to instill to our kids. It was entrusted to us so that we could place in our hands of someone traveling behind us.
Sometimes someone's designed to travel your road for a minute, And not every departure is expected. Some people leave our lives because of circumstances. A job ends, or a family relocates, or a friendship just enters a new season. God calls one person toward an assignment that the other person just simply can't share. And those transitions can be very confusing, particularly when we believe that that person would remain on that road with us. But other departures come through death. There may be no warning, no opportunity for one final conversation. Suddenly, someone who had always been part of your journey is no longer physically beside you. Grief can make that road feel unfamiliar. Even familiar places seem different because the person with whom we shared them is gone.
You know, that reminds me of a story. When we were first married, we had a couple of relationships, friendships that we had for years and cherished those. They all of a sudden just disappeared, and we're like, well, we're good people. Why did they just leave? Looking back, God had a plan for us that didn't include that element in our life. And maybe conversely, the same thing holds true for them. Maybe God had something in for their life that didn't include us. And so
I think young in our faith, I think we questioned.
yeah, and you take it personally. And I don't think that's the correct outlook on it. I think today's podcast, out of a lot of them that we've done, is going to ring true for some people that have had someone unexpectedly leave their circle. And just, we encourage you not to take that personally, but God
has a plan.
Yeah, God has a plan.
And I think as you grow in faith, you learn to trust it. And it's not, why me? Why did this happen? And fighting it. It's really intentionally saying, I see you. I see your hand in it. Don't know what you're doing, but I know there's good at the end.
Look, there's no need to minimize the pain or cover it with easy answers. Jesus himself wept at the tomb of Lazarus. Grief is not evidence of weak faith. It's evidence that someone really mattered to you. Yet for those who belong to Christ, grief does not exist without hope.
Death may end someone's earthly season, but it does not erase that person's influence, their prayers, the lessons you learned from them, examples they taught you, and the love continues traveling through the lives that they touched. Perhaps you still hear the voice of someone who taught you to keep your word. Perhaps you continue a tradition established by a parent or a grandparent. Or perhaps the courage of a departed friend now helps you face your own difficult days.
Their road on this earth may have ended, but their legacy continues throughout you. And when God changes our direction, there are also times when God realigns our path.
We may resist because we have become comfortable. What is the saying? You know what they say, comfort is the enemy of progress.
Yeah, we know the road, the people traveling beside us, and what we expect to find around the next bend. And then something changes. A door closes, a relationship shifts, a role that once gave us purpose no longer really fits. Our retirement arrives. Our health changes. A loved one departs, or an unexpected opportunity calls us in a new direction.
And at first that change can feel like a loss. But a different path does not mean that God has abandoned us. It means he's actually repositioning us. Remember Proverbs 3, 5, and 6, where it says to trust in the Lord with all thine heart and not to lean on your own understanding. In all of your ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy path. And we don't have to see the entire road coming. Some people were assigned to our previous season, and we should honor what they meant to us without demanding that every relationship remain unchanged forever.
It sounds like to me it's a faith thing. Just letting go does not mean the relationship lacked value, but knowing that God put that person there for a purpose, and he's got something else for us. Mm-hmm. Putting faith in him.
Mm-hmm. We can just be grateful for the road that we shared with them, and we got to walk with them a while. But you still have something to do. Your remaining walk may look different. Your road is going someplace else. And when the fork in the road happens, we have to recognize what it is and be okay with it.
In our line of work, we see a lot of people that aren't really prepared for retirement. And this conversation is especially important as we approach retirement. Retirement planning frequently focuses on income, investments, taxes, healthcare, and protecting our families. Those things matter. Good stewardship matters. But retirement is more than financial destination. It's also a spiritual journey.
It's a new season of purpose. You may retire from that position, but you do not retire from your calling. You still have to serve people. You still have to share your wisdom. He's given it to you. Your next season may include mentoring a young leader, serving in your church, serving your grandchildren, or supporting a ministry, or just simply being more present with the people that you love. Financial preparation should give you greater freedom to live that purposefully.
Money is a tool. It can help support the people, causes, and kingdom work that reflect our deepest convictions. That is why legacy planning should involve more than deciding who receives your possessions.
It should answer questions like, what values do I want my family to carry forward? What stories of God's faithfulness need to be preserved? And who needs the wisdom I have gained? Are there words of forgiveness that I have left unspoken? And who am I discipling? Who am I mentoring? What lives am I touching today? What am I going to do that will continue blessing people after I'm gone? Those questions help transform an estate plan into a legacy one.
Yeah, take a moment and think about the road behind you. Who helped you shape your faith? Who challenged you to become a better leader? Who stood beside you during those difficult seasons? Who believed in you before you even believed in yourself? Some of those people still may be close. Others may be very distant. And some may have already completed their earthly journey. If they are still there, consider telling them what their life has meant to you and thank them for their mentorship. They'll appreciate it.
Make a simple phone call. Write a simple letter. People don't do that anymore.
Don't assume they know.
Schedule a visit with them. Call and say thank you while you still have that opportunity to do so. We are in an age of social media. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. You can find someone you know very easily. Go after that opportunity. And then ask one more question. Whose life's different because God placed me on their road? And that one question's not about pride. It's about responsibility. Every single one of us is leaving something behind. It's our discussions with the people that we have, the people who are watching us have those discussions. Our priorities, our attitude, our faith, our generosity, and the treatment of others are all becoming part of your legacy. We don't control every turn ahead, but we choose how faithfully that we get to travel it.
You know, I wanted you to think about this too. How often have we thanked God for the time that we got to spend with a person? How often?
Mm-hmm.
God, thank you for bringing that coach into my life. Thank you for bringing that Sunday school teacher into my life. Thank you for bringing that business mentor into my life.
Thank you for bringing my husband into my life.
Right, because without that element, as a Christian, you know that he brought those people into your life for a reason.
Life is filled with roads we never expected to travel. There will be mountains and there will be valleys. There will be people who walk beside us for many miles, and others who join us only long enough to help us around a single bend. There will be goodbyes we understand and departures that leave questions. We may carry those questions for years, but through every season, God remains faithful. He uses people to shape us, and he uses us to shape others. And when one season ends, he's already in preparation for that next road ahead, that next bend, hill or valley. He's there.
So honor the people who helped you. Without them, you wouldn't have become the person you are today. Pass their wisdom forward. Invest in other people. God has placed you there for a reason.
Remember that your legacy is not simply what people receive from you when you die. Your legacy is what you place within them while you're alive. The road that you travel becomes your legacy. So travel it with faith. Travel it with gratitude.
travel in a way that points others towards Christ. You know, I think the greatest legacy I could ever imagine is that someone would say about me, I tell you one thing about that guy, is that if you ever met him, he would tell you about Jesus Christ. He prayed before every meal, and if you didn't know Jesus as your personal Savior, he was sure going to tell you about it.
And I think you love others that way. You give yourself to others that way, and that's what I love about you. At Retire Ready Texas, we believe that financial spiritual preparation is about making the right prayerful decision about which road you follow on your way to a life worth living well. It's about living your next season with confidence, purpose, and a legacy that reflects what matters most.
I just want to tell you once again, thank you so much for joining us today on our road to building a legacy.
Until next time, remember to stay faithful and stay intentional and be ready for the road ahead. Thank you for listening to Retire Ready Texas. Remember to like and subscribe. We'll see you down the road.